one's got it. Okay, so you got a central canal, and then you've got rings like this. Right? It looks like a tree ring. Okay, and then you got the little osteocytes in here. Right? Okay, so one of these things would be an osteon. Let me find. Oh, here we go. Oh, good. All right. So this thing would, so this round thing would be an osteon, and you would agree, I hope, that I'll put some more little osteocytes in here. That everything is sort of arranged round and round and round, like the planets orbiting around the sun. So these concentric rings, because this is the central canal. Central canal down here. This whole thing is an osteon. So the way in which these layers are arranged is called concentric. So if you look at this model that I got up here on my desk, you can see that there's all kinds of tree rings in here, and they're all arranged in circles around the central canal. So that's called concentric. No. Yeah. Okay. So let's draw another one. So I'm just going to make a circle like this. So here's another one here, and here's going to be another one up here. Okay, it's all concentric. It's all going around in circles. But there's a problem. You can't have an empty space right in here. Right? So this is also filled with bone. And the bone and the lamellae in here are just kind of like this. Right? They're in between. And so we call those interstitial lamellae, because they're just in between the osteons. That's sort of the filler stuff. Right? It's still live bone, it's just not arranged in a circle. Right? That kind of makes sense, it's in between stuff. But what about around the outside? The outside of the bone. That's got to have bone around it as well. So around the whole structure, and I've run out of room here, there's also a bone, and it's arranged like that. Little osteocytes are going to be in here as well. But the name for that is this one, like the circumference. Circumferential lamellae. So you've got the tree rings, which is concentric, the stuff in between, which is interstitial, and the stuff that wraps around the whole outside of the bone is called circumferential. And you can see all that on here. So for example, how about the lamellae, which is arranged like here? These little plates are sticking up to show you that. This would be the example of circumferential, around the outside. The concentric are easy to see. It's a little harder to show you the interstitial, but it's the stuff that's in between. When you take a look at this, you'll see it. And so that's just how the layers of the bone are laid down. It makes the thing a nice solid structure. And they all have osteocytes. Millions and millions and billions and billions of osteocytes. So here's the picture in your book. I think I'll stuff this here with you. Here's the picture in your book. So look. So here's an osteon, the concentric lamellae. Here's the interstitial lamellae in between. Right? And then around the outside, it's a circumferential. I don't know what page this is on, but it's perfect. It shows you everything you need to know and everything you didn't want to know about bones. And you can see all the little osteocytes in there as well. Pretty simple. How about this picture? You've seen this before. All right. So here, this right here, this is one big osteon. Here's the central canal where the blood supply is. You can see the tree rings, how it's laid down in a concentric pattern. The little black dots are the osteocytes. Here's the edge of another osteon here. Looks like the edge of another one here. Edge of another one here. What about the stuff in between? This is the interstitial. The stuff that's in between. The circumferential aren't represented on this slide. So there's only one more thing you need to notice on this slide, or I need to tell you about this, is when you look at these slides of bone, because you've seen this before, so all these little dark black dots are osteocytes. But it looks like, if you look at this, there's all kinds of tiny little black lines on there that kind of almost look like little breaks, like little fractures or something like that. They're not. Right? Those are the things called the little canals. The word for it that it was on one of my slides is canaliculi, the little canals. Well, what are the little canals doing? Well, I'll tell you what they're doing. Right? Here's the grocery store, man. Here's the blood supply. Here's the nutrients. This is alive. Right? This is where the nutrients, the oxygen and everything is located. Well, this guy out here is pretty far from the store. And he can't go anywhere because he's cemented in place. So how does this stuff get from here all the way out to the perimeter of this osteon? Through these little canals, through the little canaliculi, which can carry nutrients out to the, the edge of town. And so that's what they're there for. They're not fractures, they're transport, kind of little transport lines, way that nutrients get through the bone. Yeah?